Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to look at erosion. So we've looked at weathering, where the small pieces of rocks are either dissolved or broken apart from a large rock or a mountain. And erosion is where then it's transported away. So you have agents of erosion. You can have anything that's going to carve or anything that's going to carry. So wind, water, they're the biggies. You can have glaciers if you're in a glacial field. It will scrape rocks and carry and push rocks away. You can have plants and animals. Even mankind making a road, of course, is erosion. So we'll look at all the different parts of it and how they. So after we talk about weathering, which was a previous lesson, the next stage of how something is eroded and taken away and even making into a new sedimentary rock would be mass wasting. And mass wasting simply is gravity pulling the little fragment that used to be a part of a mountain and now has broken apart. Gravity drops it away from the mountain. So wasting, remember, is getting something smaller or getting something skinnier. Mass is something that's heavy. So you have a mountain, and then after a year, that mountain's a tiny bit smaller because particles have fallen off that mountain due to gravity. Weathering broke them, and then gravity pulled them, and then they could erode later by water or wind, and then deposited, sometimes very far away from its source, to some place where then it can be compacted and cemented into a sedimentary rock. So there's lots of parts to this kind of concept. So once gravity has done its work and it's wasted or gotten smaller, then these particles have to be either left there, maybe at the bottom of a mountain, or can be taken far away. So you can erode these particles by wind. Wind can pick up small particles, dust, dirt, and take it far away and then dump it somewhere. Water can do the same. And water can even take huge boulders, depending upon how much energy that water in that river system has. And the water itself can act as a cutter to cut into the rock and then remove particles and then carry them away. So not only can it act as a transport system, but in itself can act as an erosion tool. Water is serious. Okay. Now rills are the tiniest little streams, the size of your finger or smaller, and rills, when they come together, will make them bigger, and then that is called a gully. Once you have a gully joining with another gully, which are smallish, rope size streams, then you have what's considered a stream, and then eventually a river. So it's a relative term of how much water is being carried, and then the material that water has the power to carry. The current in that stream is actually moving water. So water is being moved through, and as it's being moved through, it's carrying what's called its load. The load is the rocks, the dirt, the soil, and even dissolved materials that it has, and carrying it somewhere else. That then can be deposited far away, and then that deposition is a large pile of material that could then be put in, cemented into a sedimentary rock. Waves can actually carve. So waves can be an erosion tool. So tides can cut, waves can cut, water hitting against, or even wind hitting against something can act as a carving feature. So in a case of a mountain that has a continuous current of air, you can get carving patterns from the air. You can also get carving patterns from a river. If you've ever looked on the stones that are huge rocks that are in the riverbank, you can see evidence that they have been carved by water. Glaciers also can do a great job of scraping and carving these rocks. Glaciers are huge patches of ice that move very, very slowly, normally down some kind of a bank of a mountain or a hill. And as it does it, it's scraping the rocks, it's creating these landforms underneath it, and actually causing part of the structure of the mountains to change themselves. A lot of times when you know that water has been somewhere, you're going to have a V-shaped channel. The channel, of course, is where the water flows. So a V-shaped channel is indicative of water that's traveling, so it's a stream bank. But a U-shaped valley many times is indicating that that's been a glacier, where it's wide on both sides but deep on the inside, and it scrapes out even solid rock. So you have water erosion, wind erosion, glacial erosion, and wind can take away, if you're a farmer, wind can take away all of your topsoil. And it's the topsoil that grows things. It's not just dirt that grows plants. You need to have a specific mix of organic matter and small and large. You need to be able to get water into it and out away from it so that it's not too much water. And this soil can blow away. So farmers from ages past have known that in the direction of the wind, where the wind is coming to something, they plant a large planting, hedges, trees, something that usually that connect together to act as a brake, so that it's breaking the wind. And then the fast wind will go over top, and as it's hopping over these large trees or hedges, they're missing the soil that's on the other side, and so you keep your soil longer.